Bye Bye Birdie is the 16th episode of the third season of Full House. This is directed by Jeff Franklin, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I talk about what happens and share some thoughts. And I think this is a really sweet episode. We have mostly one part of the story. We do have a little bit focusing on DJ and Stephanie, and I'll talk about that very briefly. Then I'll go through everything else chronologically and talk about Michelle. And the story with DJ and Stephanie feels kind of underdeveloped because DJ is up to something. She's going to school. She's getting ready earlier than usual. Stephanie is pretty certain that she's up to something, so she tries to sneak a look in her diary. And unfortunately, things go from bad to worse with the diary, and it literally, and as I said, these are spoilers, of course, it literally ends up being glued to her hand. And there's a great lesson there. Don't snoop in somebody's diary, because it's probably not going to work out well. We never found out what DJ was up to. This part resolved when DJ found out what Stephanie did. Great character development. Younger DJ would have completely flipped out at Stephanie, but she didn't. She just talked to her calmly but firmly. And Stephanie said that DJ fascinates her, and that was enough to stop DJ being really annoyed by her. And it was a nice enough way to conclude things, but it did feel a little bit underdeveloped, mostly because I wanted answers about what DJ was up to. The rest of the episode focuses on Michelle. It actually starts off with Michelle getting her height checked, and she has grown a little bit, and then we find out that it's the night before her first day at preschool. And Jessie, Joey, Danny, and Becky all tell her a story about Princess Michelle and this wonderful first day of preschool. And then we get a dream. Now, I don't care for dreams in TV shows or films. I think dream sequences are quite boring. This one, because it was quite short, I didn't mind it. But we have the adults dressed up as children in a kind of nursery with large toys around them, and then Michelle comes along dressed as a princess, and she's taller than them or the same height as them, which did look pretty good visually, definitely wasn't too bad. Michelle wakes up, gets herself dressed, and is really excited for preschool. And unfortunately, things go wrong, because when she goes into the classroom, I like the classroom. It's quite a small classroom. It's a nice size. Visually, it looks like a really great set design. And we meet the teacher and a little boy called Aaron, and he's wearing the sharing crown. And then Michelle gets to meet the class pet, which is a bird. And she's called over for carpet time, and she thinks the bird should join. So she opens the cage, and immediately the bird flies out of the window. Now, I think it's fair that this isn't Michelle's fault. She's too young to have known what was going to happen, really, and she had the best intentions, but she now thinks everybody else in her class hates her. And when she said she's a bad girl, and Aaron said, "You're a very bad girl," and she repeated, "I'm a very bad girl," the look on her face was absolutely heartbreaking. Such an emotional moment, and it really is an emotional episode. Both because of that, and also just because Michelle is growing up. And she's standing in the garden when she goes home with bread, throwing bread everywhere, trying to call the bird back. And then Jessie decides to bring her another bird so that she can replace the class pet, which was a sweet thought. But Michelle knows, obviously, it's not the same bird. And there was a really great bit that I liked, because Jessie told Michelle, "You don't have to go to preschool if you don't want to," which obviously is not the right thing to say. But what I love about this is Danny didn't confront Jessie about this until Michelle left the room. She didn't say, "No, your Uncle Jesse's wrong. That's not the truth." Because when you're parenting, you're supposed to have a united front. You can't be contradicting the other person in front of the child, because it's not the right way to do things. And I really admire that even though Jessie had said the wrong thing and was giving Michelle false hope, Danny didn't confront Jessie in front of her, and I really liked that. We then end with a very sweet scene where Danny takes Michelle back to preschool the next day with the new bird. Everybody's really happy, and she even gets to wear the sharing crown because she shared the pet. And it's a really nice way to end things. Definitely a sweet episode. Not too much going on. It very much is all about Michelle, which I love. I think as Michelle is getting older as a character, they can start to do more with the character and tap into her feelings and emotions more in ways that obviously they couldn't really do when she was much younger. And it's wonderful. And of course, as a Mary-Kate and Ashley fan, I really enjoy that. And she's just fantastic. Absolutely one of my favourite characters, though granted, they probably are all my favourite characters. It's a delightful episode, very sweet, a little bit emotional. Yes, I do think the bit with DJ and Stephanie felt a little underdeveloped. It just felt like there was more than we were getting. But maybe I'm looking too deeply into it. I don't know. I guess the whole point wasn't about whatever DJ was up to. It was about how Stephanie responded to that. But I guess I'm just nosy and want to know what DJ was up to. That aside, the episode was really sweet and Michelle is absolutely adorable.